Hey, what's going on everybody? Jimmy McThrifty here to talk about golf clubs and bags. If you're not selling golf clubs or bags, you could be missing out on some really easy money. You've seen them at the garage sales, at the thrift stores, the estate sales, and maybe you've been a little intimidated by shipping them or you don't know much about golf. Well, in today's video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know so that you can start making money off of golf clubs. And I don't golf. Just to be honest with you, I don't even like golf. The only thing I like about golf is the carts. But I have learned and I have been able to sell plenty of clubs and plenty of bags, and it's actually a lot easier than you would think. The first intimidating challenge is shipping them, and that can be overcome very quickly by buying some of these. This is a 6x6x48. You can ship almost any golf club in this box. And, you know, I like to sell the drivers, and so they'll fit in here. You put a little bubble wrap on the top and the bottom of it to make sure it doesn't get damaged in shipping, and then problem solved. Easy, easy. Now, when you are shipping these, this is real important. Only select UPS. Don't ever put USPS priority on golf clubs. This is too long. You will pay way too much. But usually you can get these, it'll be around 2 pounds or so when you ship them out. So the shipping side is really not that big of a deal. The other thing is listing them. I'd encourage you to get something like this. This is just a piece of AstroTurf. You can get this on Amazon for like 20 bucks because the main photo of a golf club is usually the head of the club. And so you want to clean it, make it look shiny, pretty. But if you have a nice green AstroTurf background, it can make the photo look a lot better. And when I'm doing like a full set of irons, I use something like this. This is just an outdoor mat that I got for, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 bucks at Menards. And then I can set out all of the irons, and I can also set them out with a tape measure and measure them. People want to know the length of the irons and clubs. Make sure you invest in those supplies. Do not list your clubs until you have the right box, because you don't want to be scrambling and putting together some kind of gnarly box when you have something as awkward as a golf club. So what are some brands that you want to be on the lookout for? Because not all clubs are created equal. There's a lot of junk clubs out there. The main ones I look for are Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping, and Nike. And if you find Nike, you find money, because I guess they're not making them anymore. I recently sold a set of irons. It took me a while to sell them, but don't be afraid to pay up for some Nike clubs. But the second, probably my second most favorite, most profitable is this exact brand and model here. This is TaylorMade RBZ. It'll be like neon green and black. You'll see the head covers. I've sold so many of these, and many of them will go for 80, 100 bucks for a single club. I love to find those. Now, before we jump into these individual clubs, there's one club I don't have an example of, and it's a trainer club. It's often the brand Medicus, and you'll notice that it has a hinge on the shaft, and you'll be like, man, this looks really weird. And if you find those, pick them up, especially if they're not very expensive, because they sell really, really quickly. All right, these first clubs I want to show you are easy to sell individually. There's chippers, wedges, and putters. And again, if you're not a golf person, it's okay. You'll learn real quick which ones are which. But let's start with the chipper. You'll see that this one says Square Strike, and then it has a number on it, number 45. If you put that into eBay, it's gonna pull up this exact club. Pretty good sell-through on these. On the wedges and putters and chippers, probably because they're some of the most used clubs, and I don't know, maybe they get lost or broken. You golfers can tell me why these sell so quickly. These are wedges, and so you'll see these have a really sharp angle on them. This is gonna have a couple of numbers I want to show you. The first one is 60. That is the degree of the wedge. And with wedges, I've learned there's also a lob. I have no idea what that means, but this is a 10 lob. And if you see dots, pay attention to those. This one has 2 red dots. So when you're looking up a listing to try to find the exact one, you want to make sure that you've got the lob correct, the degree correct, because one time I sold one that was the wrong lob and they got upset, and I think I just gave them a refund because whatever. I wanted to show you a Ping because these are a little unique. in that they have these little dots that are colored. This one is a black dot. And so with the ping, pay attention to the color of dot. It can make a pretty big difference in the value of the club. Now here is a putter. This is a tailor-made Ghost Spider, kind of a funky looking putter, but pretty simple. You should be able to find one that looks just like that. Again, it'll fit in that 6x6x48. You might even be able to cut down the box. But all of these putters, chippers, wedges, all sell individually. Next, I want to look at the sets because these can be really valuable, even if they're not great brands. If you've got a full set, you see I've got a 3 through 9 and a pitching wedge. If you're looking and you see a set of irons, but you're missing like the 5 or the 7, I don't know about y'all, but I just leave it because it's going to be hard to sell a set that's almost complete. If you can find a full set, a lot of times $100 to $200, depending on the brand and so forth. So be on the lookout for those sets. Here is one of those not great brand, Wilson Staff. I would never pick up an individual club of Wilson Staff, but since I've got a full set, if you will, there's the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, pitching and gap wedge. Oh, I think I saw a comp on this around $150. Next up, these are some of the woods. We've got some tailor-mades in there. Here's the RBZ that I told you earlier that I love to find. So these can come in 4 woods, 5 woods, 6 woods. One thing to note about these is it's good to pair them together because it'll ship pretty much the same, but you'll get a lot more money. For example, I'm going to put the 4 and 5 together. If they're the same, make, model, shaft, then it's not that big of a deal. These Clevelands, they're not super valuable. I'm going to put them together as well. If you find woods, especially if you find a pair of them, maybe if you think about putting them together and you'll get more money that way and it'll just be easier to ship them out that way. Last, of course, you're probably familiar with the drivers. And with the drivers, you're going to want to pay attention to every number on it. That's a Cleveland Launcher 400, 9.5 degree, because these drivers will have different degrees, and they come out with similar models each year. So there's a Cleveland Launcher Comp, and this is not a comp, so that's a little different. So just make sure that the head of the driver matches the listing that you're choosing, and that should help you out quite a bit. Something you want to pay very close attention to when you're listing these clubs is the shaft. They're either going to be graphite, which is this fiberglass-like material, or they'll be steel like those, the shiny metal. But you want to know the flex because they make them in stiff, senior, ladies, regular, and I'm sure many others. On this one, you can see it says R Flex. It is a regular flex. That's pretty much it. When you're looking for individual clubs, look for the wedges, chippers, putters, and drivers, and as well as the trainers. When you're looking for sets, make sure you're not missing any. And when you're looking at the woods, don't be afraid to pair them together, and you should be able to make a little bit more money that way. Well, now that we've talked clubs, let's talk bags. Again, probably the most intimidating thing about buying a golf bag is shipping it. So let me just relieve you from that intimidation here one moment. This is a U-Haul lamp box. You can get it at any U-Haul store. $6 or so. Well worth it if you're getting $100 for your bag. It'll fit right in here. Easy. There's really nothing that can hurt the bag in shipping. When you're looking for them, this particular brand I had not heard of. This is Sun Mountain, and I found 2 of these for $6 a piece at a thrift store. Sold them both for close to $100, and that's what this one is. This is just a cart bag. It doesn't have the little feet on it. It's not a stand bag, but what you want to pay attention to when you're listing is these dividers here. This one I think has 14 slots in it, so this would be a 14-way. So people want to know how many slots are in the bag. The other thing they'll want to know is how many pockets. So you just count the number of zipper pockets in there, and you do want to kind of try out at least most of them to make sure the zippers are working. You'll want to look to see if there's any tears. Some people are a little rougher. A lot of times it'll be here on the bottom side if there's any holes or anything like that. And even if it does have holes, don't be afraid to list it. You maybe just drop the price down a little bit, but people will still buy it. And if it's a cart bag or a stand bag, you want to make sure that people know that. Be on the lookout for the old vintage leather golf bags. A lot of times they'll say Titleist or Ping in big letters. People really like those unique bags, and so don't be afraid to maybe even pay up a little bit for a golf bag after you've looked it up and seen the value and sell-through of it. So golf bags are good money. Hey, pro tip here, sometimes I will buy a set of clubs just for the bag. When you go to a garage sale, they just want those clubs out of their driveway, and the clubs might be total garbage, but the bag itself might be worth $100. And so if they're asking $10 for the set, I'll just give them the $10 and I'll just take it, I'll donate the clubs, and I'll just sell the bag. So be on the lookout at thrift stores and garage sales for golf bags. In addition to clubs and bags, also pay attention to some of the accessories. These are the head covers. Sometimes you'll find a whole box of these that somebody has at a garage sale that they just want to get rid of. You can get about $10 to $20 a piece for these, and they'll ship first class. So they're real easy to list, real easy to ship. Pick these up if you see them and they're cheap enough. Look in the bags, the golf bags themselves. Sometimes you'll find treasures like this. This is made by Bushnell. This is a range finder, so people will look through this to see how far the pin is so they know what club to use. I don't know, you golfers know about that kind of stuff. But this is an easy $30, and so you might find some of these. This is an umbrella. I don't know how well this will sell, but I looked today and I don't think there's a single Callaway golf umbrella listed on eBay. All right, well, this would not be a golf selling video without mentioning one particular golf club that is every treasure hunter's dream find, and that is a Scotty Cameron putter. I am likely not going to find one, but maybe you will. So if you even see a head cover of Scotty Cameron, pick it up. Well, hey friends, I hope this information was helpful. I hope you are ready to go and get some clubs and bags and start selling them for good profit on eBay. Well, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for another video.